Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Nurse Lexi. So if this is your first time tuning in, thanks for clicking on this video. If you are returning, welcome back. If you guys watched my How to Pass NCLEX in 75 Questions video, you'll know that one of the major resources that I used was the Saunders book that everyone talks about. So they just released their newest edition for their NCLEX prep, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys and basically show you guys how to make the most out of this book for NCLEX and also just for nursing school, because it has all of those subsections in there. So if you want to hear more about that, and if you also want some updates on my nurse residency program and how that's going, just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so before we get started, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there, like, comment, and subscribe to this video. But anyway, so this is the book that you guys saw me talk about on my NCLEX video, which if you did not watch that video, I'll have it down in the description box, so don't forget to check out the description box. But this was their previous edition, which was edition 7, and their newest edition is edition 8. So this is how the new book looks. They do have some new features. I tagged all the things that I want to talk to you guys about so that you guys can be making the most out of it and basically using it to its full potential, because there's a lot of information in here and sometimes that can be kind of overwhelming, and so you see this big book and you kind of don't really want to read every page. But there are so many online resources, there's so many cool things inside, so let's just talk about that. So first, this is the newest edition. I don't know how often they update it, but they kind of like to stay updated with the changes to NCLEX and the latest NCLEX test plans. So with every update, you'll see that they're just keeping up with the changes that are being made to NCLEX so that you guys are studying the most up-to-date material. So the first thing I want to talk about is the online component of this book. So I know that even myself, when I first was using this, I didn't really do the online part because I was using other online question banks and things like that. But Elsevier does have questions in this book, and then you also get online access to like 5,000 plus questions. So if you need practice questions and you bought this book, you're also already paying for online questions with rationales and things like that, so you should take advantage. Basically what you have to do is, all you have to do is open the front cover and then go to this website and then scratch off your code, enter in your code, register your book, and you'll have access to all the online questions, and you still have questions inside the book. So just take advantage. I know that there are so many other options for online question banks that are super popular, but if you are balling on a budget and if you already know that you want to buy this book because it's great for NCLEX, everyone knows that, then you might as well just try the online questions in here, see if you like them, see if you like the rationales, and just make that a part of your study routine. Like I said, this is not just for NCLEX. You can also use this for nursing school. A lot of people do that just to help them with test taking, because we all know that nursing school questions are nothing like any other questions we've ever seen before. So let's talk about some more aspects of the book. So like I said, it has all of these subsections. So if you are in, let's say, foundations or fundamentals, you can use that to study along with all of your PowerPoints and study materials. If you're in maternal, pediatrics, you know, if you're in your med-surg courses, this breaks down like all the body systems. So this is great for NCLEX, but also just great for school. So for the NCLEX portion, I really recommend that you guys, after you sign up for the online component, you can take the pre-test. So it's a pre-test, it's testing on all things NCLEX, and then based on your score and like what areas you're weaker on, what areas that you're stronger on, they make a study calendar for you. You basically take the pre-test, put in when you're going to take your NCLEX, and then they make a calendar for you. Like, how easy is that? So they make the calendar, You can go by that calendar. You can also take a post test that they have, and they have other exams that you can make, like 10 questions, 20, 75, whatever you want to do, and just make those exams throughout your whole study time to see how you're doing. It is super helpful. You have such a large test bank, so it really does touch on like everything that NCLEX will test you on. And then another cool thing that I just wanted to point out was the fact that you have audio review summaries. So if you're an auditory learner like me, if you've recorded your lectures in nursing school like me and would just listen to them all the time, this is going to be really helpful. They have these auditory reviews that touch on the things that are a little bit more complicated, like your acid base, your fluid and electrolytes, a lot of pharmacology. So you can literally just download these audio review summaries, put in your AirPods, and just listen to them throughout the day, when you're at the gym or what have you, while you're studying for NCLEX. So it's kind of like a break from reading and looking at your laptop all the time, and you can literally just listen to it and let your brain soak up all this material. That I feel like a lot of people don't know is that there are multiple types of questions that you can see on NCLEX, and this book basically breaks down all the different types. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit with you guys. You can have multiple choice, you can have fill in the blank, you can have multiple response, which is, select all. You can have ordered response, which is like if you're going to be doing trait care, put this in the correct order or the correct sequence that you're going to be doing. Figure hotspot, which is like if you want to auscultate the pulmonic, where would you put your stethoscope? You know what I mean? So that's like an image, and then you have to choose the hotspot. You can have charts, you can have video questions, audio, graphic. There's so many different types of questions that you're going to see on NCLEX. I did get a lot of these types on my NCLEX. So it's good if you just know what to expect. You're not just going to have multiple choice and select all. You can have the order, the hotspot, the audio, the video. You can have so many different types of questions. It's kind of insane. So definitely read through this section so that you can know what to expect. And then this section is all about your test taking strategies. So if you're not yet ready to take NCLEX, but you're just in nursing school and you're having some trouble with how to answer questions, what is the question asking me, read through this section, and it basically teaches you strategies on how to answer nursing style questions. So that's why I say that you can use this book before your NCLEX, just for all your regular nursing courses. Another huge thing that I know is going to be beneficial to everyone is how much pharmacology review and content this book has. Okay, so we all know that nursing school they literally want us to be part-time pharmacists. We have to know the side effect, the adverse effect, everything about the med. So the good thing about this book is that every section has a couple of pages that talk about pharmacology. So for example, you have, if you're learning about musculoskeletal in your med-surg class, you have musculoskeletal medications. You can come here and look at the relaxants. It talks, it gives a description, it gives side effects, adverse effects, and interventions, and nursing considerations, which are all very important. Then you have anti-gout medication, anti-arthritic medication, medications for osteoporosis, basically every med that you need to know for that specific disease process or like group of medications. And also, if you're using the online component, you will have pharmacology classification codes, which makes it easier to look up the meds in specific groups. For example, you'll be able to find the ACE inhibitors and just study that group, or the ARBs and study that group. If you're studying beta blockers, you learn that they all end in OLOL, and how they're similar, what parts of the heart or lungs, vessels that they work on. So having them grouped into these different classifications make it a lot easier to find and to study. Yeah, so that is pretty much everything I have to say about this book. I want you guys to go ahead and follow Elsevier on YouTube. I'll put like a link to their YouTube up here and down below in the description box. This is a great resource. I mean, if you watch NCLEX videos, they're gonna talk about this book. They're gonna mention the Saunders book. it's just something that you use for NCLEX, and also something that you can use for nursing school. So I hope that this was helpful, so that you guys can kind of see a lot of the components of the book and how you can use it while you're in school or for NCLEX, and how helpful it is. I mean, there's so much in here. Of course, I can't go over every single thing with you guys, but a big, huge takeaway is that if you're going to buy this book, you need to register for the online portion, because if not, like, you're basically paying for this online portion and not using it. It's very, very helpful. Has a ton of questions for NCLEX if you don't want to buy like another type of test bank. I hope that that was helpful. And then I also just want to talk about my nurse residency a little bit. I am 2 weeks in. Basically, people ask me if you have to get hired into a residency, or if it's necessary, can I just start on the floor, things like that. So obviously it's not necessary, just because not all hospitals offer residency programs. Some hospitals hire their new grads into a staff position and you just start working on the floor with the preceptor. The difference is with the residency, there's a lot more education. So there is a huge education component. Right now, in my 2 weeks, I've been learning EKGs more in depth and more dysrhythmias than I had learned in nursing school. And we are studying for our BLS and ACLS that we're going to be doing next week. We have been going over charting. So our hospital's charting system, we're getting used to that, doing a lot of practice charting on there so that we can be pretty efficient when we start on the floor. Been doing skills practice, literally just like nursing school lab. We've been doing Foley's and G-tube, central line dressing change. What else? We've been doing so many skills, administering G-tube medication, how to use the IV pump, how to use kangaroo pump, putting in IVs, getting blood draws, restraints, basically any skill that you need to know we have been learning during these 2 weeks so far. The rest of the weeks is going to be more skills. Like I said, we're getting our ACLS, BLS. We will be doing case studies, more education, getting used to our facilities, going to our facility, getting all the codes for the doors, Pyxis, access, things like that. So it is 5 weeks of didactic, so 5 weeks of basically classroom training, 1 week of simulation, so a week long, so many different scenarios. We'll be playing different roles such as nurse, charge nurse, things like that. So we have a week of simulation, and then we have 6 weeks of preceptorship. So in total, it is a 12-week program. Technically, it is a whole year, because throughout our first year, we will have education that's due every month. We'll have meetings, like mentorship. We have to do an evidence-based research project and present it, I think, in a year. So pretty much it is like a lot of commitment. It's a lot of work, but I think that it's better because honestly, just everything that we've been learning, I can't imagine going onto the floor without doing a residency and just being a staff nurse and just like, okay, here you go, here's our charting system. Do you know how to put an IV? When's the last time you put an IV? Do you remember the steps? This and that. Like, I would feel very overwhelmed. I feel like this program is making it a lot more of an easy transition, especially being with so many other new grads, and we're all like, yeah, I haven't put an IV in for like months now, and I've only tried like twice on a real person. Oh, I haven't changed the central line dressing in like months, you know? So we're all on the same page and we're all learning, refreshing our skills. We're getting to talk to so many different nurses in so many different fields, and they're telling us their experience because they're basically like our instructors throughout the residency. So I think that it is super beneficial. It is like a lot of work, and I do feel like I'm back in school a little bit, just because like the skills aspect, like we're in a class, we're doing case studies, so it kind of does feel like school, but it's not. It's work. I'm getting paid. I'm learning a lot, and I feel like I'm going to be more comfortable as a nurse on the floor because of this. So no, you don't have to do a residency, but if you have hospitals around you that offer residencies, just apply. Why not? Talk to the recruiter, see what the residency offers, and see if it's something that you would be interested in. I feel like it's very helpful. I feel like every hospital should have a residency, but not all of them do. Just not all of them do. I think it is growing in popularity, but I just know that not all hospitals do. I know some just hire you into the floor as a staff, you know, regular nurse, and you just get going. Yeah. So I will be officially on my unit in about well, around mid-November, mid to late November. So I'll be telling you guys about how I feel during my preceptorship. When I'm finally on my own, I'll update you guys. And I just have, you know, a lot more updates to share with you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are choosing to follow my journey. I really appreciate it. If you have any video ideas, go ahead and leave them down below. If you have questions about nurse residency, leave them down below. But like I said, I think it's beneficial. I'm glad that I'm at a hospital that has a residency, because I feel like they really care about us being like competent, safe nurses, you know? So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow Elsevier on YouTube as well. They have such great resources for nursing students. You can also follow them on Instagram. They have takeovers, so you can see other nursing students take over for a week, see what they do at school and things like that. They have giveaways. So yeah, and follow me on Instagram too. Okay. Lex Forever XXI on Instagram. But again, thanks so much for watching, and catch you guys in the next video.